Hi, I'm Alex from Tailscale, and in today's video, I want to show you a self-hosted app pick I found called Mazanoke? Mazanoke? I'm not entirely sure of the name, but what this app does, it's a pretty straightforward thing, is it's a self-hosted local image optimizer that's fully open source and it runs in your browser. So I'm going to show you today how to put this app onto your tailnet so that you can access it from anywhere. Now, in my line of work, resizing images is something I do multiple times a day. So to have some kind of an ad-free, self-hosted, privacy-respecting application that runs on infrastructure that I own and I control, it's very exciting for me. So let's go and grab an image. I have the pangolin WWF page loaded up here because, of course, pangolins have both a tail and scales. Yes, very good. Let's just grab a picture. I don't know, this one here. And let's see what we can do with it. So I'm going to throw this into my downloads folder and then go to, this is running on a local system, by the way, not currently on my tailnet, but we'll get to that in just a second. I'm going to look at the settings I've got here. So let's limit the file size of this to, I don't know, let's do kilobytes. Let's do 10 kilobytes. No way. Let's do 512 kilobytes. Now I'm going to browse for the image in my downloads folder. Oh, it's already only 90 kilobytes. Well, in that case, I don't know if you saw my video last week where I demoed tail drop, which is an easy way to send files between your devices. But I have this beautiful picture of my first ever 3D printed Benchy. So let's resize this because this is 3.7 meg. Let's resize this from 3.7 megabytes to 512 kilobytes. Let's open this image in here and you can see it's done. Now, it didn't get anywhere close to 512 kilobytes, I will point out, but we didn't change the resolution or anything like that. So, you know, so what's that? It's a pretty large resolution file at 1.9 megs. It's pretty good. So let's see what else we can do here. If we go to set limit dimensions to, yeah, let's do 1024. And then I'm going to also select PNG and just see what this does. I'm going to leave the file size limit thing the same, 3.7 megs. And it's done. And this time, we're much closer at 778 kilobytes. So play around with these features. And there's a lot of cool stuff you can do with this app, Mazanoke. So now I've shown you the basics of this app. And it is pretty basic, but I don't know, it looks pretty cool to me. Let's get this thing deployed onto our tailnet using Docker. Now, I've covered Docker many times on this channel. In fact, you can click up here to see a video about Docker and how you can get started if you need more information. Now, to make this as simple as possible, I provide code snippets for all of this stuff. So this compose YAML file is available in GitHub here at Tailscale Dev, video code snippets, and there'll be a link to that in the description down below. And we're pretty much ready to go, but we do need to do a couple of things on our tailnet just to make sure that everything is in position for us. So first of all, we need to grab an auth key. So to do that, we go to tailscale.com. And we go to our machines page, followed by settings over here once we're logged in. Then we go down to keys on the left and click generate auth key. Now I'm going to select reusable just because I'm doing a demo, so I'll likely spin up and tear it down a couple of times. But for you, you can probably just leave this default exactly as it is. I'm going to click on generate key, copy that to my clipboard, and put this into the auth key variable right here in VS Code. Now we also want to just take a quick note of the host name. So in my case, that's images. So that's the name that this Tailscale container is going to get when it joins my tailnet. Also, we probably want to have some kind of TLS, some kind of HTTPS certificate, right? So I've also provided a JSON file here, which basically is going to proxy port 80 from inside the container onto your tailnet. This is basically a reverse proxy configuration, but specific to Tailscale using Tailscale serve. Now you can configure Tailscale serve using an environment variable, and we're going to do that here using tsserve config. We also need to add the associated volume for this file, so we can do pwd for current working directory or print working directory. I'm going to do Mazanoke, and then I'm just going to do config. And then I'm going to mount that inside the container to /config, and then I'll put the .json file in that directory on the remote system. So using my Tailscale extension, I'm going to copy this to my clipboard, navigate to the remote system. So in my case, that's tsapps, find the location of my remote compose file, or create it so I can right click on these directories and just interact with them as if they were local directories. So I've already created this new file and put the contents in here. So we should be good to go on that one. Now within the Mazanoke folder, I'm going to also create the config directory because this is where our JSON configuration for Tailscale serve is going to live. So just copy and paste in a couple of files around here, nothing too crazy. So I'm going to call this one, what did I call it? Mazanoke.json, I think. And just like that, we've got all of the files on our remote system that we need to actually get started. Now, another nice thing that you can do with the VS Code extension is you can hover over the node itself and bring up a shell in any of these directories. So in my case, I want to be in the compose.yaml directory. So I'm going to go to containers and then hover over this and click on terminal. And this is going to open a terminal directly in VS Code in the remote location on that remote node. And I can type docker compose up. And what's going to happen there is it's going to create both containers. It's going to join the TS Mazanoke container to my tailnet, as well as starting the Mazanoke service. So it's spinning up two containers, and we can verify this by going back to my tailnet and looking for the images node right here. So I'm going to copy this images.velociraptor-noodlefish. By the way, I should also point out, and I've said this in many Docker videos, but I can't presuppose you've watched all of those videos. So just very quickly, my tailnet name is set here under the DNS tab, and you can rename your tailnet from the default name, which will look like this, to have a name that looks like a tail, something with a tail and something with scales. And then at the bottom, we want to make sure that Magic DNS is enabled along with HTTPS. And once we've done that, I should be able to just copy and paste into my browser, and voila, I have a full HTTPS certificate for this service running on my tailnet, which means I can access this service from any other device on my tailnet anywhere in the world. So you could throw this on a Raspberry Pi under your stairs, or you could throw it at a friend's or a family member's house, or you could throw this on a VPS in the middle of the Pacific Ocean if you wanted to, and you could access it from anywhere. That's the magic of Tailscale's NAT traversal technology. Now, if you want to find out more about Tailscale and how you can bring us to work, you can head over to tailscale.com/BTW and join over 10,000 paying customers. As always, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I've been Alex from Tailscale.